Hello, and welcome back to the Dungeons & Dragons Podcast UK. My name is Yasmin, and I will be the DM.
Hi, my name's Colin, and I play Cuin de Greymont, a paladin from Gavany.
Hi, I'm Spencer. I play Cadeaux Chasseur, a cleric also from Gavany.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I play Ogvar Shawfoot, a ranger from Kessig.
Hi, my name is Samantha, and I play Elora Greyvale, a sorcerer from Nephalia. Last time, our heroes had their fill of fine fare on offer. Elora inquired about the city's nefarious nighttime entertainment and received a riddle in response. Her well of knowledge is deep, but her knowledge of wells significantly shallow by comparison. The cleric chose to quiz the locals, who either avoided or abstained from their opinion of Axum. This further convinced him that due to the prolonged absence of the Archangel Avicen, dark deeds and corruption were starting to seep into the city, purloin positions of power and fracture the faith of her followers. Episode 64. Well Disguised.
So, getting on with the show, you had booked out rooms 7 till 12. 7 to 12, not from 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock. You booked out rooms 7 till 12 after getting Arvis up the stairs and her projectile vomiting, and then you finally getting her to bed. You all decide to settle down for the remainder of the afternoon. It's probably about, I think it's about 3 o'clock-ish. So you've settled down for the remainder of the afternoon, and when 7 o'clock finally rolls around, Ogvar, you're sat in the dining area. You're playing with Murdoch, tossing some crumbs of bread for him. Cadeaux, Arvis, Esther, and Elora are all upstairs resting, getting a bit of shut-eye, taking a bit of a nap. I'm assuming Pickle is probably going to be with you. So yeah, you guys are just having a general rest. And Cuin, I believe you said you were sat in your room sharpening your sword, and that is not a euphemism.
Sharpening my sword and looking after my new armour. Trying
Is that
to
her
adjust
name?
my helmet.
Okay, so 7 o'clock. What are you guys doing?
Laura is going to go to room 8, which is Esther's room, and knock on the door and say, Esther, are you awake?
Yep, yes, do you? Yep, 1 minute.
I'm heading downstairs now. I'm just going to go into Arvis's room, go on the door and see if she's surfaced. But I'm going downstairs because we all said we'd meet at 7, and well, it's got to be nearly 7 now. So I'm popping downstairs, just letting you know.
Okay, Jerry. Okay.
She's going to stomp another door down the corridor to number 7, room 7, and she's just going to bang on Arvis's door and see if Arvis is awake. Arvis?
Yeah, you hear some faint kind of grumbling from inside. It sounds like someone's waking up a bear. So you hear this kind of from inside. You assume it's Arvis.
Arvis, we're going downstairs now. If you don't come down, you're going to miss out, okay? Elora turns around and she walks away. Downstairs.
Okay, so you go downstairs. You see Ogvar sat in the dining room playing with Murdoch. Murdoch's quite happily flitting around. By this point, the guild hall is in that kind of lull at the moment. You've had the day rush and people have decided to go off. They're going to go and do things for the evening. And you've just kind of got this kind of brief lull almost where you'd imagine that it's going to pick up quite a lot later. There's going to be a lot more, it's going to be a lot more boisterous. But at the moment, the guild hall's really quite empty. A couple of employees are running around, cleaning down tables as best as they can, with the dirtiest cloth they can find. And yeah, so you see Ogvar sat there and he's playing with Murdoch. Yeah.
I'm gonna sidle up to go to the bar. Get myself I'll probably get an ale.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to with Orland on my side, and obviously I've still got my sort of protective house on my side, like little box on the side, which contains Familiar, Rowan.
Yep.
I'm going to go get this tankard of ale, and then I'm going to shuffle over to a lot. Going over to Ogvar and say, "Oh, hey Ogvar, how you doing? I had a bit of a rest. Did you not go up?"
Quite awake at the moment. The night is still young, so it's only 7 o'clock, so we should be all right.
Okay, cool. Well, next to Ogvar, and we'll just sit there and do whatever.
Okay,
else?
so
Bring down?
I think so. I've knocked on the door of Arvis. There was a lot of grumbling, funny noises coming out of that room. Whether she's joining us, I don't know. But
There's quite a state.
I did check on Esther, and I think Esther's on the way down. Yeah, I don't know about the boys though.
Excellent. And Cadeaux are still yet to be seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. I didn't bother knocking on their door. I figured they could sort themselves out.
Agree. Need me to go up, just say it. I'll rouse them.
Oh, you know.
Okay, yeah. So Ogvar will go up and find the two of the rooms, the Cadeaux and Kewin,
5 and 6.
5 and 6.
11 and 12.
11 and 12.
So if we're in 5 and 6, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Who's moved? Who's in those?
Speak for yourself. You remember the good-looking barmaid?
Yeah, I'll go to Kewin's door first and knock on the door. Say, Kewin, are you about?
I'll be down in a moment. Just gonna strap on my sword, you know.
Okay, I think we're getting ready to head out. I'll just go check on Cadeaux.
Be a sec.
Okay. So, knock on Cadaux's door. Cadeaux, are you in?
Oh, yeah, I'm up. Yeah, is it 7 already?
I do believe so.
How are the rest of the troops doing?
Well, I believe Elora's already downstairs, and Esther and Kewin are soon to arrive, but I'm not quite so sure on Arvis.
Ah, the drunkard. Should we go
Yes,
give her
yes.
another knock?
I shall go check on.
I'll come with you. It might be entertaining.
Okay.
I thought he was going to say that he was going to go and knock her up. Then I was just like, no, don't go there.
As if I would say something like that.
So yeah, knock on the door for Arvis and see if there's any reply.
yeah, again you hear this noise from inside.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything from.
Oh, I did.
I heard you.
Okay.
Right.
She makes a noise like.
Okay.
Okay.
Ogvar, she doesn't sound that great. Perhaps we should just step in and make sure she's okay and she's not lying there in a pool of her own embarrassment.
Incoming.
Good
No.
loud knock. Here we come, Arvis. Just coming in to check.
Just a moment. Didn't we lock the door?
No, left the key in there, in the mug.
We left the key in the mug with her.
Okay, so you go to open the door. The door is unlocked. As you walk in, you see it's a very dim room. It's clearly a room which doesn't have, although there's a window, it's kind of blocked off by another wall, so there's not much light coming in anyways. But as you walk in, you see the bed where you just kind of threw and draped Arvis. She's crawled away under the covers, and all you can see is this big lump in the middle of the bed, covered by the covers. And you hear these kind of noises you've been hearing from outside the door. You hear from this lump under the covers.
Arvis, are you okay?
I'm not a medical man, Ogvar, but I think she may need a little more recovery time.
See, I'd agree with you, but
Unless anybody's got the ability to sober her up.
I believe I possess such a talent.
No, I certainly don't have the spell sober drunk person.
If you don't have it, I'd say no one else will.
I'm going to come walking down the. What's up?
We have a person in the sick bay.
Well, that doesn't sound good. Because it's pity we haven't got no smelling salts. What do we do with that sack with the troll? Used for the troll head?
With your song.
I don't think it's that bad.
Oh, okay.
She's already been sick once. Let's not make it any worse for the poor girl.
I think we should leave her where she is. Just maybe give her some water in that mug. She take the key out first, but
No, she won't find the key. This is in the mug.
Yeah, she that might have stuck in her brain. I think perhaps if we leave her overnight to have a decent night's keep, and we just tell them down on reception to stick their head in and make sure she's okay every now and then.
ask them. Yes, problem.
I mean, they might charge us, but hey,
Go down there.
we got her in this state, so I suppose we're responsible for getting her out of it again.
I had
It
nothing to do with
wasn't
this.
hers, it was
Say we got her
Esther.
in this state. Esther got her in this state.
Yes,
Talking of Esther, where is she?
She's downstairs already. Wait, settle down, Pickle.
As you say that, the three of you can make me a is it not perception?
What?
I just want you to make me a general wisdom check.
Oh. Just add your wisdom modifier then to a
Yeah,
D20.
just add wisdom.
19 for Q.
Oh, yeah, 19 for Cadeaux.
15 for Ogvar. Yes, 15.
Good start to
Wow.
the day there.
Okay, okay. So, Ogvar, as Kewin says this, you feel a hand land on your shoulder. You haven't sensed anything coming up behind you, but both Kewin and Cadeaux, you get this. You kind of catch at the corner of your eye. You catch sight of Esther, and she just comes up behind you and pops her hand on your shoulder, Ogvar.
Hello.
Hello, dearie. Everything all right?
Yes, I believe 20% of, 80% of us are okay. It's just 20% down there that, well,
You appear to have turned Arvis into a bear.
Dear, I never knew I had that spell.
Well, you listen to her. She appears to be trying to hibernate, and the only noises you can get out of her make her sound like a maternally enraged bear.
Oh, well, you know what they say, don't poke a sleeping bear. I'd say we just leave her be.
Well, that's just what we were discussing, whether or not we leave her till breakfast and just ask somebody down on reception perhaps to check in on her every now and then just to make sure she's okay, because it looks like she doesn't quite have your constitution.
That sounds like a jolly good idea. I think we should do just that.
Brilliant. Well, downstairs it is then.
yes, I think it looks a bit weird. It's all around. We should shuffle on out,
Do we want to leave her a note so she knows what the plan is?
possibly. Could we not just tell the reception?
Or just write. We can just write a note saying, "Just popping out. See you later. If you survive." Okay.
Okay, I'll leave that up to you.
Okay. Here goes. What? We've left her a note saying we're popping out. Be a few hours.
See her at breakfast.
Okay. So you all head downstairs. I'd say you're going to stop in and ask one of the guild employees to check in on her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, so you stop in, and at the desk there's this rather matronly-looking woman, clearly older, quite round, quite jolly, rosy-cheeked. And she gives you a, you adventurers these days, you're always getting drunk. And she agrees to do it, and yeah, so you carry on into the dining room, where you see Elora and Murdoch. And what are you doing?
We'll saunter over to Elora and to a full party, all who are willing and able to join.
Oh, hi guys. Hi Esther, how you doing? Kewin, Cadeaux. Oh, no Arvis?
No, he's
Ah.
She's
Yeah,
still
it's-
struggling.
Yeah, I got a load of strange noises from shouting at her through her door. I'm not really surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, they're just as odd if you open the door.
Oh, you went in? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that was brave.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll be doing it again.
Ah, right. Okay, well, we'll leave her to it, I think. Yeah, right. So, are you having a drink before we go?
Yeah, we left her a note and told her we'd see her at breakfast, and we've asked the lady at the desk to just check in on her. So
Oh,
that-
that's cool. Yeah, that's nice. That's kind of you. Well, I've not got much of my ale left, so I don't know whether you guys just should we go and examine this maintenance ladder?
there's a well to fix, isn't there?
Yeah, apparently behind the guild.
So, yeah.
It's only round the corner, isn't it? So should we?
Oh, you never know. We might find a wealth of information.
Oh,
Ah.
very good, Esther.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah.
Hey, the only other option is to have an early supper, and if we have an early supper, we're going to start drinking again. So let's go and do something. Otherwise, we're going to get on it large, aren't we? And we'll all end up like Arvis.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, no, let's go and do something a little bit more constructive. Or
Right.
destructive, as the case may be.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Cadeaux, why don't you lead on? And apparently, it's just round the back of the guild. So I understand it's a.
What are we looking for?
Well, I was told it was a maintenance ladder.
A maintenance ladder?
Yeah.
What, going down?
In the well.
A maintenance ladder? Right, well, yeah, okay, well, we'll give that a crack. So,
He said it's a maintenance ladder in a well behind the guild.
if we're going to go down a well, I might... do we take the dog?
Oh, I don't know. I think if it's anything like the one at Dranau, it's pretty crowded.
Ask Pickle to keep guard over Arvis.
Well, I was just thinking that might be quite a good plan, mightn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, just
Well, he'll
go
be
up the
safe
room.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, right, I'm going to nip upstairs and give Pickle instructions to guard Arvis's door.
Yep. Are you leaving him inside Arvis's room or outside Arvis's room?
Yeah, I think we'll go inside. We'll go inside with instructions to guard the door, so he'll bark and let her know if anybody interrupts her.
Yep. So you leave Pickle inside. Pickle quite happily plods in there, sits there, looks at you, turns tail, and then jumps up on top of the bed next to Arvis and takes up a guard position next to her. Yeah. So you go back downstairs. You're all in the dining room. Are you leaving the guild
yeah.
now?
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
off. Is there an obvious route round the back of the building?
There is a obviously you've got the front door. You can go out the front doorway, but there is what looks like a back door. You can see footprints trodden into the kind of muddy footprints trodden into the wooden flooring going in and out of this door. You can see it's clearly a well-used route. So yeah, you can assume that this is a back door, especially if you think about the building and where it's kind of situated. You can assume this is out of the back side of the building.
Well, we'll give that a go then. I'm always keen on a rear entrance, so we'll head that way.
Okay, so you
It
head
was low
down to
hanging fruit, wasn't it? You couldn't resist.
Low hanging fruit.
These two, they've got filthy minds, haven't they? I mean, man of the cloth makes a purely innocent remark.
Moving on.
Anyway, yeah, so we'll beat a hasty foot towards the rear entrance.
Okay, so you go towards the back door, and this back door, it's quite loose. It's quite ill-fitting in the door frame. You can see there's a good kind of centimetre gap around each edge of the door. And at the bottom, you can see where the kind of planks have splintered slightly and pulled away and kind of warped with time and age. You open the door. It doesn't squeak. It's not a squeaky door. It's clearly been used often enough that it isn't kind of seized. It moves freely. But you open the door and you walk outside, and it's 7 o'clock. It's fairly dark. There is ambient light because you're in a city. So things like in buildings where you've got kind of candles lit inside the rooms and stuff, you can see it's very dimly lit. But you walk out into a courtyard area. And this little courtyard area, you can see clearly that one door is there's a spur on your left-hand side, a spur of the building, which you can assume is the kitchens. You can hear a lot of crashing, a lot of banging. You can hear the sounds of a cleaver going into meat. Basically, the kitchen is gearing up and prepping for the evening rush. But in this back area, you've walked out to this little courtyard. It's higgledy-biggledy cobbles with all sorts of like grass and moss grown over the top. So to your left, you've got this building. To your right, you have what appears to be like a little small holding area. You've got like a little pig pen. You can hear a couple of pigs kind of troughing around in the shadows of the room. Shadows of the courtyard. You can hear a couple of pigs troughing around. The occasional kind of like squeal. And you can see a couple of chickens are scratching around, and a couple more. You can hear them just very gently kind of
Being chickens.
yeah, I'm just trying to think of what the noise a chicken makes. It's just gone.
They cluck.
Scrat.
Yeah, no, those are both valid points, but what I was going for was crooning. You can hear them just kind of very gently crooning, obviously where they're nesting down for the night. That kind of gentle croon. But right straight ahead of you, this is an enclosed courtyard, so you've got the back of another building on the other side. But straight ahead of you, in the middle of this courtyard, there is what looks to be a very old, dilapidated, broken down well. And you can see, actually everyone make me a spot check.
Well.
Well.
Well. Oh.
Ooh.
What's my spot? I've forgotten what my spot
Kewin's 5.
Oh,
5, okay.
is.
That device is not working for you, is it?
Aha. Well, Cadeaux's a whole 9.
Laura's looking for the front sheet.
Ogvar's got 19.
Oh, well done. Ogvar,
Okay.
thank you. Somebody can see the well.
Spot. Elora has 21 on spot.
Woo!
At me.
That's a good roll gone.
Cheeky.
Next one's an
Cadeaux,
orb of
what
acid.
did you have?
I got a massive 9 all in.
Okay, so was there anybody higher than a 15? It
Yeah,
was
that's
just you two. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Laura and Alpha, as you're looking around, you can see perhaps you've just got a slightly better angle as you come through the door. You're just situated ever so slightly where you've got a bit more light coming through, and you can see a bit more. But you can see that very clearly, although there's this old well, you can see a brand new kind of hand pump well situated near the kitchens. So you can see that clearly they've got a fresh source of water here. But this well in front of you, it's about 5 foot off the ground, so it's quite tall off the ground. And it looks like it's very old, very worn down. It's made of kind of piled together and balanced stones rather than any kind of brick. So it's not held together by anything, it's just held together by kind of, gravity and forces at this point. There's this big kind of lip of stone all the way around the edge. And you can see the like kind of half rotten remains of what was clearly once kind of strut posts and a crossbar and a roof. The roof's gone, it's just these two kind of half rotten poles and a bit of coiled rope around the base of the well itself, which looks very manky. It's half ground into the dirt, it's kind of green and looks slimy with age. And the top of this well, it's been boarded over. And it's just literally someone's put some planks across, nailed some planks together with like a cross piece, and then just roughly with a saw kind of chopped round it. So it's this very uneven, jagged kind of circular shape, which is just sat over the top of the well.
Well, it was the ladder they mentioned, wasn't it? So do we need to take the top off to see if there's a ladder?
Can do.
Okay, then.
It's a fair way up. So, yep, Ogvar will walk over and inspect the top of it, the board that's across the top, let's say, and he'll just try and lift it, see if it is nailed shut or whether it is removable.
Okay. You begin to lift this lid. It moves about. It's quite. Although the wood looks quite dense, it's clearly made of a lighter wood, which is obviously a lot easier to lift. But as you get closer, and you've obviously got a bit, you're close up to the wood, you can see that the wood, although it looks really, this wood across the top, although it looks newer than the wooden posts, which have rotted, it still looks old. Like, it's been there for a good couple of years, it's had some weather, it's got a bit of pigeon poo on top of it, it looks weathered and old. But as you get there and you look closer, you look at it, and this is new wood, which has been made to look old. Even to the point where this what you think is pigeon poo, when you look a little closer and with your profound knowledge of the wilderness and pigeons, you look at it and it's actually painted on. It isn't bird droppings, it is paint which someone has painted on. And the closer you look at it, you realise that all this old kind of green lichen which looks like it's on top, it's just paint. Someone has deliberately concealed the top of this well. But as you try and lift it, it moves about an inch up and then it stops. You cannot lift it any further. It just it hits a stopping point and you But it begins to move. And you can feel that it actually has a pivot point.
Okay. It's clearly not as shabby as it looks. More to meets the eye. So this pivot point, pivot like inwards or downwards or upwards?
Yeah, so this pivot point, you can tell that there is almost an anchor point on the one side. And it spins round.
Okay.
So as you begin, I'm assuming you're going to begin spinning it.
I'll give it a go, yeah. I'll just swing it away from myself.
Yep, you push it away from yourself, and it's clearly got a pivot point on, the left of you, so on your left-hand side, and you push it, and it just really easily slides open and over the top of the well, leaving this big gaping hole.
Okay. Can I see anything down the hole?
Okay, so as you look down the hole, you can see it's quite dark, but you can see. Make me another spot check.
Okay, okay. Just me or everybody else?
Just Ogvar.
That's going to be no. 20.
20. Yeah. Okay. So looking down the hole, you can tell not a lot aside from the top 5 foot.
Okay.
But as you look down, you think you can just about make out the flicker of light.
Okay.
Clearly, the flicker of light you get, it's not like someone stood at the bottom of a hole with a torch held aloft. You can't see that kind of thing. But it's almost like just on the peripherals, you can just see a vague flickering of what looks like light.
Obviously, there's the ladder in question is there as well.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, you can definitely see this ladder. And
Okay.
this ladder, again, when you look at this ladder, the top you can see the top 5 foot, so maybe 6 rungs. They look very rusted. The fixings against the wall look really, really rusted. They look like they're going to break off any second. You can see flakes of paint peeling off. But again, when you look closer, just at the top rung, you can see that this has been disguised to look like an old ladder. In fact, when you touch the ladder and you get a nail under a bit of the flaking paint and you ping it off, you can see shiny new metal underneath. And what someone has done is clearly they've layered up paints to give this rusted effect and then layered up a bit more to make it look like it's flaking and peeling off. It's been really, really cleverly done to the point where if you weren't looking at it really, really closely, you would not be able to tell that this was a new ladder.
Okay, cool. So looking down to the bottom of the well, is there any sign of water or is it just like a flicker of light?
You can't see any water, you can't hear any water, but you do get this just peripheral flickering, just like this very faint orangey flicker, but it's very, very dim.
Okay, it looks as though it's not as bad as it looks. It looks a bit ropey. I'm sure your ladder looks quite structurally sound.
What do you think then, Ogvar? Are we all going down the ladder?
I believe so. I'd be something down the bottom. Maybe a bit of torchlight down from there somewhere, so we're on the right track.
And you're confident it'll take 5 bodies at once?
As certain as I can be, drawing on what I've remembered from my father, a stonemason, fixing sure enough.
Just quietly listening to this, you're just going to step out from the rear of the group and just look round the corner and obviously just try and get a look at the well. She's going to wander up to the edge of the well, look down it. Can she say, is it lit enough? Is there enough dim light to actually, how far down can we actually see?
You can see the top 5 foot of the ladder before it goes into pitch.
Right. Laura's going to cast light.
Yeah? What are you casting light on?
She's going to cast it onto the end of her dagger. And she's just going to
Okay.
hold that the actual over the edge of the well. So it should. How far could
Yeah.
you see? It's.
So,
Is
are
it
you all
6?
kind of clustered around the well at this point?
Yeah, why not? Let's all stare down a
All
well.
looking down it
Yeah,
Okay.
like a witch's
So-
cauldron, looking into it.
yeah. Anything comes up the well, it's going to take 5 heads at once. Well, 4 heads. Esther does her own thing.
Yep. No, Esther will be there with you.
Yeah, let's all look down the well.
20-foot
find-
radius of. Is it 20-foot radius? Shedding bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet.
Okay,
Tempted to throw in a copper piece and make a wish.
Okay, so as you're looking down as well with your dagger aloft, I'm assuming you're probably going to stretch your arm down as far as you can to make the most of the range of light. So you can probably see for the next 21 feet, 22 feet possibly. You can see that this ladder is now illuminated, and you can see that it gets down to a point about 15 foot down, where all this effort that someone has put in to make it look old, even to the stones at this point, you can see that someone has clearly been weathering the stones to disguise this well entrance. And you can see that about 15 foot down, it suddenly stops. And the stone transitions into a kind of a grey brick. And the ladder is no longer looking rusty. It looks brand new and shiny. And it looks like it's fixed to the wall rock solidly. So for a further 20 feet, in the dim light, you can just make out the glinting, the reflecting of the metal of this ladder. But it looks, again, like this kind of top section you've got here, this new looking top section, not the disguised top. But you can clearly see that down to 15 foot, which you'd probably say is about the distance someone would be able to see in the day without sticking a torch down in the day, because why would you stick a torch down a well in the day? You can see that this top 15 foot has been made to look weathered, disused, old. From that point onwards, down to about 42 feet, brand new.
Well, we'll point down. See, I told you. You doubted me, but it's quite safe.
Okay, well,
Must be something down there, people. Nobody's
it.
going to put a new ladder in a well unless there's something at the
Laura's
bottom.
going to slide the dagger that she's holding. She's going to slide the hilt, the handle and the hilt, into her pocket. So just the tip of it with the light is actually just sticking out of her pocket. And she's going to swing her left leg over the side of the well wall, followed by the right leg. So she's now sat on the wall with the legs dangling in, and she's going to ease herself down onto the ladder, and she's going to start to climb down. So come on, guys, let's do it.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay, so the way you're getting onto this ladder, you can make me a dexterity check.
Okay, while she's doing that, I'm going to take a copper piece out of my pocket, flick
Yeah.
it into the well, and make a small wish to myself.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
okay,
an
so
18 all in from Elora.
I'll private
Okay.
message you with the wish in a minute, although I know nothing will come of it.
okay, so you flick the coin in, and you hear this kind of this pew, 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 of like a coin spinning through the air, and it goes down, and you hear it kind of echoing slightly, and then it hits the bottom, and you hear a ding as it echoes back up. Okay, so Elora, with that, yeah, you get onto the ladder fine, and you begin your descent. You don't get hit by Cadeaux's coin.
I was so hoping that I've killed a dwarf at the bottom.
I'll then go. Hold on, I'll come next. I'm going to let her go about 10 foot, 15 foot ahead, and then I'm going to start. And dexterity.
You. Yeah. Make me a dexterity check.
At 11.
Okay. Yep. You're a tad wobbly, because you're actually trying to get the bulk of your armor in. Although this is quite a wide well entrance, you're trying to get the bulk of your armor in, and obviously it's not that easy to lift a leg coated in armor over a 10-foot side of a well. So you are struggling a bit.
Knock knees, so he's like his left leg, his knees going out, and his right knee is going out as he's going down the rungs. I just get this vision of him like going down like knock-kneed with his trying to get down with his armor.
It's very
Step
ungainly because you don't have the kind of your armor is not providing the full range of movement that Elora wearing no
Shame
armor
then.
has.
Yeah, but I'm going to. Maybe I should have left my greatsword. the room and just bought my bastard sword. This is a bit uncomfortable. Oh well.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
fella. You look like a graceful swan. You'll be
Well,
fine.
but yes, at least if I fall, I've got something to land on.
Yeah, well, very true.
Elora's looking up as she can hear the echoes above her of clanking armor and queuing. It's kind of like quite loud because it's.
Yeah, you're not going to get a show. Okay, so who's next?
Esther, would you like to go down?
Oh, yes, sure thing, dearie. And I'm going to say she very nimbly kind of pops her leg up and kind of vaults over onto the ladder. I'm going to roll to see. Does somebody want to roll me a d20 to see if Esther does indeed do this nimbly?
It's 5.
So not that nimbly at all, really.
It's not very nimble.
Who of us on these tables would expect Sam to roll a dice for dexterity?
Hey, my dex is really good.
In
But
fact,
I'm
who
not
would ask her
adding
to
my
roll a
dex on
dice
it,
for
just
anything?
Roll a
for
dice.
Esther.
No, I said roll a dice.
Yeah, just don't let you roll a dice for somebody else.
Okay, with the 5 in total, Esther ends up. She's trying to bless her. She's trying her best to kind of push herself up over this 10-foot kind of low wall, but she is old, as nimble and dexterous as she is. She is quite old. So she turns to you, Ogvar. She goes, Ogvar, would you give me a bit of a leg up, please?
Yes, certainly.
Yeah. So you give her a bit of a leg up and kind of cup hands the leg up and push her up, and
1,
she's
2,
able
3,
to get.
hoi!
And she's able.
Each
And she's
bucket.
able. Oh wow. And she's able to get onto the edge of the wall, and then she just kind of grabs onto the ladder and slides down a couple of feet before kind of starting on her way down the rungs. Okay, so who's next? Because I'm not gonna like kind of linger on this bit too lot. So who's next?
Yeah, I'll jump up.
Right, Cadeaux, same thing. Dexterity check for me.
13.
Yep, you're fine. You're able to get onto that ladder, all right. Okay, and Ogvar, I
You
guess you're
taking the
last.
armor check off that?
Yeah, I'll bring up the rear.
Oh, good point.
Hold on.
Oh.
Hang on.
Nope.
I didn't take my armor check off that.
Oh.
Got your shield with you?
No, I haven't picked it up yet, have I? Takes it to a 10.
Yeah, okay. No, you're struggling as well. You manage to get up onto the ledge, but it's just trying to actually coordinate your limbs to get your legs round under you to like a suitable position to get onto the ladder. You take it. You do struggle slightly, and you
What a
do.
gosh
You
day.
are. You do kind of slow down a bit. Slow down Ogvar a bit, but you do get onto the ladder and you're fine going down. So Ogvar, last one on.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, you're fine. You kind of almost take like a running leap and one hand vault, just grab the ladder and
yup.
you're on. There we go. So you all start making your way down the ladder. It doesn't take long really to travel down. Obviously going down is a lot easier than going up. But the first one to land on the floor is Elora. At this point, you've travelled down about 60 foot, and you reach almost this kind of bulbous, circular-shaped kind of bottom. It's got a flat bottom, and you can see kind of dirt lines up the wall where water perhaps once was. But it's this kind of bulbous shape, like a bit like an onion bulb, really. And you've got one corridor leading off to the east, so to the right of you as you kind of land on the floor from the ladder. It's to your right. And this bottom chamber is about 20 foot across. Roughly, it's not perfectly circular.
Laura's just going to move to the one side and wait for everybody to come down the ladder.
I'm going to get to the floor and go, oh, look! Oh, look at that! A copper penny! Do what they say.
See a penny, pick
See a
it up.
penny, pick it up, all day long, you'll have good luck. Wow! Lovely, that'll do, lovely.
And you
You're
know
right,
what?
sorted.
For that, you can have one luck re-roll.
Okay.
Okay. So you all make it down to the bottom, and you're all stood in this little antechamber.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so
What do
we're
you
down
do?
here now. That was.
Can we see where the lights are coming from now?
Yeah. So actually, you can all make me a spot
Yeah.
check.
So I've still got.
It's coming from Elora's pocket.
Yeah, exactly. It's coming from my pocket. We
Spot
don't
check.
see any other light.
Oh,
Oh,
I got a
dear.
nat 1.
Oh dear.
Making a spot
We're
check.
making a spot check,
Check.
although queuing isn't.
I've got double U. It gives me a 10.
Hey, you got double me, but you still got a 10.
15 all in for Cadeaux.
So
10,
21 all in
15.
from Elora.
21. Wow. Okay. So
Nice.
Cadeaux and Elora, you're able to see around the room. Ogvar, you are able to see around the room. You can see kind of all this kind of like little bits and bobs, like water, kind of like water lines on the wall where perhaps water used to be. You can see all of this. But however, Cadeaux and Elora, as you're looking around the room, you can see almost chiseled very lightly into the wall near this entrance, this corridor leading off, is an arrow at about eye height.
You see that, Cadeaux? Elora's just going to touch the wall where the arrow is, so that the others to make it obvious to the others. There's an arrow. It's saying this way. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's only this way to go. So.
I think we can all see it if you stick your finger on it. Yeah, let's go that way.
Hello, where? Ah,
Up here on the wall. Look.
Well,
she's
stop
just
bending
gonna-
over and looking for small change. Pay attention to what we're doing.
oh, I think it's great. What?
See in the wall here. Look, it's an arrow. I mean, that's the way the
Oh,
the
yes.
corridor goes. The pathway goes. So I guess let's go.
If in doubt, follow the arrow.
So Elora's going to shuffle forward. She's still got obviously light on her. She's going to take her dagger back out of her pocket so that she's actually got it in her hand. And yeah, she's going to carry on down the corridor. How wide is the corridor? Is it a single person or?
It's about 10 foot wide. You can fit 2 people
Alright.
down it. Perhaps not Quin and Cadeaux side by side. That would perhaps be a little too tight, but certainly Quin and someone else.
What are you saying?
We're bulky with armour.
I've been on a diet.
Good.
Not.
Right, so Elora's going to just on down the corridor.
You general jolly cleric.
I'll bring up the reel.
Yep, so as you walk down the corridor, it's got quite a few kinks and bends in it. And the first kind of kink you see, as you come around the corner, there is a torch in a sconce on the wall, which you can assume, and it is lit. Not going to get the super question of is it lit? It is lit. And Ogvar, you can assume this is what was providing the very faint flickering light. The way the tunnel's bent, you wouldn't have had like the full kind of pool of light. You might have got a slight flicker. You can assume this is what gave that flicker of light.
Can Elora see any further light up ahead? Are there other sconces, or is it just that one?
Yeah, as you're looking up, you can see interspersed there are the odd sconce. It's almost like you've got your sconce giving off they're not burning particularly bright. There's clearly not a lot of fuel here. They're burning quite dimly, quite lowly. You see you've got a 20-foot pool of light, bit more of dim light, and then the next one just intersects over the dim light kind of radius. So there's just enough to barely light the corridor in some places.
Elora's going to keep light on her dagger for now, then, to add extra. She's going to keep walking forward. Come on, the sconces here on the walls. Look, they kind of, and just kind of dimly see, but I'm going to keep light on. It just makes it easier.
Okie doke. What?
Follow the lady with the lit dagger.
Okay. You carry on walking for about 10-15 minutes. And over this 10-15 minute walk, you've been round some bends, obviously, but and you have this floor is been fairly flat, fairly level. So as you come round this final corner, this flat land which you've been walking, this very flat solid ground, suddenly drops away, and it is a sheer drop, and coming right up to level, perhaps lapping ever so slightly onto the ground you're walking on, is a body of still water. There's no movement There's no. It's clear. It smells of that kind of stale water smell. You know, that kind of musty, sourish scent of stale water which hasn't moved in quite a while. And from where you're stood to the kind of far side, it's about 20 foot across, 25 foot across, and it's narrower. It's about 10 foot wide, so you know it's in keeping with this path you're currently on. Ogvar, you can make me a knowledge nature check.
Okay, no problem.
And you can see that what someone has done here is there is a very old, rickety-looking rope bridge, which has been almost strung. It's been staked into the ground. It's more of a rope ladder than a bridge. It's been staked into the ground with big iron picks on either side of the corridor, and it leads up to like another level, about 15-20 foot up in the air, and it's just kind of these planks of wood which have been slatted in.
Okay. So
Ogvar?
my knowledge nature was 16.
Okay, with a knowledge nature of 16, you could say this probably was once the water supply for the well, and the water level was probably a lot higher. And just looking at it, you can probably think, looking up towards the kind of ceiling, you can see a lot of stalagmites hanging down. So clearly there's been water which has been seeping in through the rock, dripping down to form these stalactites, and filling up this reservoir of water. Clearly the water's been drawn from the well, it's been overdrawn, and then the water's come down to a level where there's nothing being pulled through, which has formed this kind of underground lake. Okay.
Cool. So I'll
Yeah.
say that to go say, oh, it's looks like this, obviously a functional well up to some point, but it's well almost depleted now. Just the water level should be right up here. Look, points out with like the watermarks on the way here and just down there.
I guess that's about a 20 foot. Goes up about 20 foot. This rope bridge thing. It's got planks on it, so. Okay, here goes. So,
Does it look serviceable from up there, you two?
well, I think most things in this well look serviceable. This has been, it has been maintained down here, and there's a lot of new stuff that's been replaced. And easy travel because the sconce is burning, so someone's been through here.
Only one way to find out, and Ogvar will just give Elora a little shove. Off you go.
Half sort of trip and find herself and go, ah, what was that for? As she stood on the first plank. Oh, okay, I'll go. She's going to start stepping. Is there?
But even stood on the first plank, there are no handrails to this. There's no rope handrails. It is simply just planks.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
didn't realise that.
So you've
Good luck, Elora.
You've tripped up to the first step. You're fine. But even still on the first step, you can tell these planks of wood are really solid. They're not slippery. They are held really, really taut. Whoever has put these up has done their absolute utmost to make these two kind of ropes, these planks strung up on, as tight as possible, to the point where they are almost solid. You stand on it and you can't feel much give at all, and it would take something really quite drastic for you to actually, end up sliding or tripping or falling off here.
Are there gaps between the planks, like a few inches between the planks?
Oh, yeah.
Or are they? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like a
Got
set of
step
steps.
from one to another. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's like your standard kind of steps, except they're free floating planks.
Okay, fine. Okay. Ooh, so she's gonna use her Cuban heels and stamp up and down slightly on the that she stood on, and she's gonna say,
Oh, flamenco!
"Can you hear that, guys? Can you hear that? That's solid. It kind of echoes, but it's solid. These are really quite sturdy." And with that, she's just going to walk up them like a set of stairs.
You walk up them like a set of stairs.
She gets up to the other end, sort of 20 foot up at the other end. She's just going to say, "Come on, guys, they're absolutely solid. That's a really good staircase, that."
Well, there we go then, fellas. Everybody follow the pretty lady.
Yep. So you all following on?
Yeah, same order as last time.
Yeah.
Just
So
I'll hold my light out so that they've got plenty of light in that area, so that it's flooding back down towards them.
So you all follow up the set of stairs. You don't have to make any checks, nothing like that. It is, I mean, it is as solid as walking on a set of normal stairs. So you know, you travel up these stairs, and it's quite a disorienting experience, really, for quite a few of you, because you are walking over the top of this big, fairly big body of water. And Elora, as you've gone up and you've taken your dagger with you and you've illuminated, obviously going up, you've had the reflection of the water kind of dancing and playing along the walls. And actually, from the top, when you're looking down with your light kind of illuminating, just permeating into the top kind of layers of this water, you can see that although it is stagnant water, it is still quite clear. It is like cave water. And although you have this kind of sour smell, you look at it and you think that's perhaps from the top, kind of a bit of scum on the top. The rest of the water looks really, really clear.
Filtered water.
Yeah, and you are getting the occasional blink, blink, as water drops are kind of dripping down off the stalactites and landing below and like spreading out small ripples across the surface. So yeah, so you get up to the
See
top
from up
and
here, guys. That's see it here from up here, guys. That's see, that's really clear water. I can't quite. It's so clear. I can't quite tell how deep it is, but like rock filtered water. Satisfied with it.
So by the time you get to when you get to the top, you have this rough platform. It's like a ledge, really, and the corridor continues on. But at this point, it's widened out slightly, and it is going down. So it's widened out to about 15 foot, and it's sloping gently down.
Assume you guys have caught up and you're walking alongside me now
Yep.
at 15
Yeah.
foot. Yeah.
So as you continue on, because you've really got no other way to go apart from forwards here, you eventually reach a section where you've gone down, and you've almost gone down lower than the path you'd been walking on, lower than the level of the well. And as you're walking along, it's flattened out, and then all of a sudden, as you've been walking for the past maybe 5 minutes, you've been getting this really, really strong. I say strong. You haven't. Sorry. You've been getting this faint smell of something not so pleasant, and you eventually reach what looks like a mined-out hole. This hole is again 10 foot wide, and you've reached the end of this corridor. And if you'll make me a spot check.
That's a 6 all in from Elora.
Okay, 6 all in.
13 from
18 all in from Cadeaux.
26 for Ogvar.
Oh, blooming it.
Yeah, definitely with a 26. So anyone over a, I'm gonna say anyone over a 12.
Okay.
And especially you, Ogvar. Especially you, especially with your background and your history and your father being a stonemason.
Mhm.
You've noticed that from when you hit this platform, perhaps the first 5 feet of this platform was kind of a natural hollowing where the water's kind of dripping down the side of the walls, just hollowed out hollow. From that point onwards, from that 5 foot onwards, it has been mined out manually.
Okay.
Someone has actually taken a pick. They've clearly hammered it out with pitons. You can see bits of scree on the floor where clearly they've just left remnants, small bits. You can't see where the vast majority, the bulk of it, is gone, but Ogvar, you could probably make a fairly good guess and say that they haven't manually taken it and removed it fully. They've probably just dropped it into the pond because that's the most convenient place to drop it, and you know nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to question where it's come from.
Yeah.
But you can see that this is very clearly handmade. Up for the next kind of perhaps the next 40 feet you travel down, it's hand chiseled out, and you do get this. You start getting this faint smell of something quite unpleasant. It just kind of it's almost floating in on this kind of very gentle, stale kind of breeze, and you can feel a breeze. Clearly, there's an airflow coming from somewhere. But you reach this 10-foot hole. Again, it's been chiselled out. And here you can see that rocks, whoever's chiseled it out has just shoved rocks around the edges of the hole. They haven't bothered clearing it out fully. And when you look down the hole, you can see paved stone flooring.
At the bottom of the hole.
At the bottom of the hole. And you can see that it looks to be about 10 foot wide. Then there is a very, very small, maybe a 5 foot wide channel. Then another 10 foot of this paved stone. And just from looking, you can see the walls look quite rounded and curved and smooth.
Okay, is there a ladder or any way to get down?
Have you just
There
described
isn't.
a slide?
No, I haven't described a slide. It is,
Okay.
it's just a hole looking down onto this.
Right.
There is a rope hung over the edge of this hole. It's been
Okay.
slammed into the wall with a pit on, but there's a rope hanging over.
Okay. It seems that there is a sign of humans, well, full of some description, moving about here. There's roped down there, and clearly some man-made flooring at the bottom. Must nowhere else to go. Must be the way.
How far down is it?
Nope.
Gonna stick a over the hole so we can see clearly.
So, how long does the light last on your dagger?
Hour. Is it
Hour,
an hour
okay.
per level? No, I
Yeah.
think
No,
it's
it's
an hour.
10 minutes per level.
It's 10 minutes per level, so yeah, an hour.
Okay, so looking down over it, you can tell that it's perhaps a 15-foot drop.
Are there any knots on the rope? It's just a straight rope.
It's just a straight rope. It looks to be a very good rope. In fact, you can make me a just make me a general knowledge check, so an intelligence check for me.
Intelligence. That's a 19.
Okay, 19. You could tell this is like your above average rope. This isn't just any rope, you go down and you get in your basic standard adventurers pack. This is like the next tier up of rope, so it's really well, it's almost, it's not quite silken rope, but it's close to it in quality.
Right. Who wants to go down? Well, we're all gonna have to go down the rope. Should I go? I'm that heavy.
Wherever
Send
we're
Murdoch just
going,
have a quick look and see what's about.
That's a good idea.
wherever we're going, it's starting to feel like an episode of Ninja Warrior to get there, isn't it? We've got to go upstairs, down ladders, over lakes. In a minute, somebody's going to make me run up a wall, aren't they?
Running up walls?
Do you want me to go first? Because obviously, if I'm down there, I'm not going to fall on anybody.
You're certainly not going down after me.
It'll also weight test the rope.
Yes, that's a good point. If you can take my weight, then you'll all be fine.
Okay, you've just volunteered for that one. Let him go.
Right,
Do you want
queuing.
to send Murdoch down and see what's doing, or?
Swoop down quickly and swoop back up. And, report if there's anything aboard.
Yeah, sure.
Could you do that for us?
Yeah, so you're sending Murdoch down? Yep, so Murdoch flutters down through the hole. You see him kind of disappear off slightly, and then he circles around and comes back, and he perches on the edge of the hole, looks up at you and goes, "Ah! Sarah!"
The boys behaved responsibly and checked in on Arvis before descending to meet up with Esther and Elora. Seeking out a well was apparently the way in to what promised to be an evening of entertainment. After some careful climbing and a round of coin toss by the cleric, the team travel through the tunnels, traverse a body of water, and finally come to a halt at a hole.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Having you as a listener means everything to us. So, whichever streaming service you choose to listen to us with, please give us a like, subscribe and follow. We would love for you to join us on our Facebook or Twitter page, where you can catch up with all of our latest news. While you're waiting for the next episode of Secrets of the Silver City, why not pop over to our website, where you can read all of the information about this campaign, from backstories to setting. All of the links are in the bio of this episode. Join us again next week for the next instalment. Thank you for listening.